Okay, so I'm Cina. I'm the Managing Director with Minnesota Renewable Energy Society, and I am a bit sick, so forgive me. I'm just going to kind of go through this before I have a big coughing fit and I have to quit in the middle of it. So we'll try to go fast. So I put Mission Possible because there were multiple moments this year where I thought our mission was impossible. One of them was a tiny house. That felt very impossible to me. And also in the spring, we really didn't have a future funding source. So, and then we got the Minnesota Solar Challenge grant, and then I felt like we were possible again. So I feel like that often in this group, but now mission is possible. That's our 2012 motto. That's mine anyway. So this is our mission, and it is to promote the use of and engage in advocacy for renewable energies through education and practical purposes. So I feel like we did that this year. So we are 12 board members. It was 13 with Jen Eichten, and she resigned this summer. So we're down to 12 board members this year and 1 managing director. So I think I'll introduce everybody. The top is Todd Fink, instructor at Century College, and he now also works for Innovative Power Systems Solutions. Never get that right. Doug Shoemaker is our vice chair here tonight. Rebecca Lundberg works for Powerfully Green. Tim Bethke. Tim Bethke's here. He's our treasurer. Eduardo Barrera. He left earlier. He works for the city of St. Paul. Jan Hubbard, who is our secretary and now works for Applied Energy Innovations. Oh, I'm dropping bombs. Okay, so so Jim Donchie works for Gustavus Adolphus. He's here. Dustin Denison is the owner of Applied Energy Innovations. Nancy Kelly works for Eureka Recycling. She's here tonight. Chair of our training committee. Yeah, co-chair. She missed that. Chair of the training committee.
Oh, yeah.
All right, there's a commitment, somebody write that down. Eric Jensen, who is our current board chair, works for the Isaac Walton League. Brett Matson, who's here tonight. And that's me in the middle. And then Richard Harrington. Hi, Richard, he's here. So let's see. These are our exiting board members. Richard Harrington has said he will stay on for the outreach committee, so that's great. To hear. Tim Bethke's a little undecided maybe, but I put him on here to say thank you, Tim. And Rebecca Lundberg is finishing her 3-year term, won't be coming back, and then Jennifer Eichten resigned this year. So that's our 1-year term that's kind of left open right now. Let's see, so we currently have about 200 members. We are a member-based organization. And we have seen a decline in membership since 2009. I think 2009 was a record year, if that's right, Jan. It was lower by quite a bit. There's a huge push in marketing in membership, but it's been declining ever since. So I would really like to see a focus this year on membership.
I just, if I don't mind me adding that, this year we celebrated our 30th anniversary. We had a lot of kind of buzz going on and a lot of people signed up.
Yeah, and you made a big effort in membership too. So I think we just need to have somebody who maybe champions that and takes that on and does a membership drive and gets our membership back up. We're down 100 members from 3 years ago. So that's my message on that. We are also a volunteer-based group. We have volunteers who do tabling. We had about 200 volunteers just for the Eco Experience at the State Fair alone. So it's a lot of people who are chipping in to do the work we do. And also the Solar Tour homeowners. We had over 80 people open their homes, and I consider that a big volunteer commitment to do that too. So the events we had, we did reach over 300,000 people this year. Most of those were at the State Fair. But we also reached about 40,000 people at tabling events. And Doug and a whole crew of people do so many events a year that, you know, we're not most people in the organization aren't even aware of where we are every weekend. But this is a list of people who have helped Doug do all these tabling events. It's almost twice as long as last year. So I want to encourage people to keep talking to Doug about where they can help out. Some of these people, like Don Graves, is from Iron Range. So there's people across the state who are, we'll send them tabling stuff and they can use our equipment to table at their local event. So we want to encourage you guys to talk to people about helping out at the tabling events. So we also did the solar boat. We're missing like a whole title screen maybe. Well, maybe not. We do the solar boat regatta every year. And so this year was our 20th anniversary. And we did get 20 boats. And we had recorded 220 people. So it was a fun solar boat regatta this year. And these are our volunteers. Jennifer Burke-Holtz helped Doug a whole lot again this year for the solar boat regatta. And we are already recruiting schools for that. So if anybody wants to recommend a school or even just have it their own team, we can. It doesn't have to be a school. Or we're going to have an installer team this year. Yeah, we're going to have installers compete this year. So start thinking about that. The National Solar Tour was in October 6th this year. We did have over 80 sites across the state. Some of the groups we partnered with, this picture here is Britta Saylor up in Park Rapids, Minnesota. So they got a CERTS grant to do part of their solar tour with partnership with Zenergy, which is a solar installer in their area, west central Minnesota. So they partnered with us to do their solar tour. We also partnered with the Sierra Club, who did a walking tour in South Minneapolis, and that was very successful. And then we had the bike tours. So Eric Jensen was a tour guide for one of those, and Richard Venberg was a tour guide. So those were really successful. We'd like to do more of those next year. It's a great way to really get people engaged, I think. We've been building training. We did get a grant with the Midwest Renewable Energy Association to send instructors to Wisconsin to get trained. So this year we sent Dustin Denison, Scott Randall, and Jack Klumke from St. Cloud to the trainings. And they have all committed to teaching classes for MRES over the next year. So we're currently working with them to develop those classes. And we hope that MREA is doing this under a DOE grant for the Solar Instructor Training Network, which we've been participating in for about 3 or 4 years now. We're hoping they're going to continue getting money for that and continue partnering with us so we can send people next year. But I have not heard yet if that will be the case. We did do a bulk purchase program again this year. We got a $5,000 CERTS grant for that to do a solar thermal bulk purchase program in southeast Minnesota. We did do 5 workshops in these cities. We did not have the results that we had in the metro area. I have lots of theories on that. But the main one is the original metro bulk purchase program we did have was funded by about $20,000. So I was hoping that because we had already had an established bulk purchase program, we could do it on less, but I think one of our weaknesses was that we didn't have money for marketing and advertising. So all we did was 17 virtual site assessments with no installations done. So there's no bulk purchase made, unfortunately. We have developed a site assessment program. The site assessment program developed, we had already started doing site assessments for the Metro bulk purchase program. So the training committee decided to create an independent site assessment program so people could receive a site assessment not through an installer, without a sales pitch, a little more third-party, unbiased assessment. So we have now expanded that to do the metro area, Hibbing, Northfield, St. Cloud, and Elk River. We've done 64 assessments. A lot of those are coming out of the current bulk purchase programs, the Grow Solar in Minneapolis and Solarize Kingfield. So being the official site assessors for these bulk purchase programs has really helped our numbers. So hopefully there'll be more groups in the future who will want to use us as their site assessor. I have not done a survey yet of the site assessment customers, but I do plan on doing that next year so we can see what our results are. I know of one 7.3 kilowatt install in Woodbury, so that has come out of that, and I'm sure there are more that are coming out of those. So we'll get numbers for that later this year. We also got a grant from 4 different CERTS regions throughout the state of Minnesota to promote the Renewable Energy Guide. If you guys aren't familiar, we got a grant from the state of Minnesota last year to write the Renewable Energy Guide for schools. So we wrote it, kind of got put on the state of Minnesota's website, and nothing really happened with it. So we wrote some CERTS grants. It was Eric's idea to promote the Renewable Energy Guide to schools, to get it in front of teachers and get it used. It's a good idea. So we did do that. In the process, we built our email list by about 4,000 emails from across the state. So that'll be a benefit to the Solar Boat Regatta. And we did a survey to find out what these schools need to do renewable energy projects. And I think it's kind of the same thing with the Mayflower. It's like, it's a complicated process to move through as a nonprofit. So they probably have a lot of questions. So we're gonna try to get a grant to create an online forum or a listserv where schools or nonprofits can go to ask questions of experts and find out what the process is. And they seem to be getting stuck in certain places, or how to institute curriculum for their students. So we would like to be more of a support service for them than just the Renewable Energy Guide. And we built the tiny solar house. We originally came up with this concept for the state fair, for the Eco Experience. We wanted to show practical applications of solar, how it would work on a house, but in a transportable way. So we built the house in 18 days. Cost about almost $30,000 in product to build. We came out of pocket about $800. MRES did. So I count it as a big success. We have a $35,000 to $40,000 investment now that we own, and we're going to try to use it to its best possible advantages. We're throwing around ideas of it being a bed and breakfast someplace. Definitely it will be going to events. So anybody has an idea, any ideas for the tiny house, let us know. We're open. It's currently in Elk River as an Energy City demonstration site. And then we will probably start moving it around in the spring when the winter comes. So let's see. This is the last grant we got, and it will be done February 15th. So we have a limited amount of time to get the word out to AHJs, which is authorities having jurisdiction, which the Department of Energy, the federal government, is referring to pretty much cities and counties and townships. So AHJs is the shortest way for me to put that. We are talking to them with Brian Ross of CR Planning about practices for solar PV, rooftop only, permitting, zoning, and planning. So we've done 3 workshops. We've got 2 more workshops, one in Duluth and one in St. Paul left. And our goal is to recruit at least 20 AHJs to work directly with them on improving their processes. We have 14 on the list, and we only have 6 more to get. So this grant is going really well. So far it's a success. There is a phase 2 to this that only a certain amount of states in the U.S. will get. We're hoping we'll be in the running for that, and this grant will continue for another year. But that's up in the air. So here's our basic financing slide, you can see here that we started 2012 with a large surplus. We made a lot of money in grants in 2011, which we did not see that kind of success in 2012. We also, our fundraising from the fall fundraiser and the spring fundraiser were down. We did do remarkably well, though, for the November 16th Give to the Max Day. So I was glad for that. But our numbers are still down for fundraising. Event sponsorship, which is the third bar in, is also down remarkably. But we did raise more money in training. So that is our one success this year, is we did do more classes and we made more money that way. And membership is also down, as you guys saw before. So we do have some work to do for 2013. And I'd like to see all these numbers go up next year. So we need your guys' help to do that. All of these numbers here are connected to one of our committees. So if you guys could help us do things like create new classes. This is a picture of Tom Schock at the training committee. Maybe that's why training went up so much. He was building a solar boat. I don't know, I like this picture because I was there and I took it. So anyways, that's my proof that committees are fun. But we do need, to just develop new programs, and maybe that is a K through 5 educational program that we apply for a grant for. But we need the idea, and then I can apply for the grant. So we can also need people to write articles for the solar flare, or help Doug table events, or help us find foundations that are willing to give us grants. So we need help. If anybody's willing to help, you can come talk to me about being on a committee. And I want to say thank you to all the members and volunteers and the board members that put in their time and effort to make this all happen.
Hello everybody, I am Zach Tamble. Can you hear this? Yeah. Great, awesome. So I am just a recent college graduate from University of St. Thomas. I've had a passion for solar energy and renewables for quite some time, about 5 years, which may not seem like a lot to you, but it's kind of a lot for me. A lot of my friends don't stick to anything. So anyways, I currently have a role with a startup company called Quad ROI, and we do business analysis for energy efficiency programs within utility companies. Some of those do include renewable energy programs as well. So I get to learn a lot about what certain utilities around the U.S. are doing. It's really exciting. Aside from that, I work with the Clean Tech Open, which is a small business accelerator helping small businesses in the clean tech space from the 10-state Midwest region, hook them up with mentors and webinars and training to help them really hone their business model and find out who their customers are, and give them coaching that they need to launch their business. Other than that, I do a little bit with a Department of Energy sponsored program called the New Venture Challenge, and it's a similar program, business plan competition for clean energy companies, and it's mostly MBA and undergrad students entering into that. But I would really like to get involved and be a board member of MRES because I want to help drive membership. I want to get involved with the events, and I'd like to meet more people in Minnesota that share the same passion as I do for renewable energy. So thank you, and have a good rest of the night, I guess.
Hello everybody, I'm Jan Hubbard. Some of you know me. I've been a member at MRES since 2008. I came to a member meeting and in May. I remember pretty well. Ken Clive, who's wrote a book on building a home, solar thermal panel, was a presenter then. So that you could, anyone could build it with parts you could buy from a hardware store. And so that meeting, Doug and Ralph Jacobson dragged me off to a training committee meeting same night and got me to sign up as a member. And next year I became a board member. So I've been on the board for, this year has completed my 5th year. In the past, 2009 and 10, I was the outreach chair. And I have been active in quite a few committees. in the past. I've regularly attended training committee, outreach committee. What am I leaving out? Advocacy this year was a new role for me. I have attended the meetings in the past at Christopher's Child's House, and this year I chaired the committee, and we're one of the things I wanted to do this year is try to get the advocacy outside of the committee as well onto the streets. So we're still doing that, but we have moved to the point where we've decided on a PACE project where we would do some advocacy work around PACE, and then see what did and then this year I was also the secretary on the board. So I'd like to serve for MRES again in the future, and I plan to remain pretty active as a volunteer and hopefully board member.
Okay, hello, my name is Jensen. I've been involved with MRES for 4 years now, on the board for 3, so clearly I dove in pretty head first from the start. I've been the board chair. Early on I was involved in events, then I showed up at an outreach meeting and was instantly voted in as chair of the outreach committee. And so I did that for a couple years, and then this past year I've been the board chair, and through a mixture of I don't know, joy and frustration, it's turned out pretty good, I think. And so I am up for election again, so to some capacity I want to be involved in the board. I like the development side of things. I work for a nonprofit during my day job. I'm on the board of a couple other nonprofits. This has sort of turned into something that I'm really passionate about. I'm horrible at making money, so this nonprofit thing just seems to make sense in my brain. Do good, and some nice folks will make sure you don't starve. And so I would like to, yes, basically continue. I'm developing some recommendations for next year, whoever will be the board chair, something to build off of. I'm going to plan to stay involved to some extent with the events, with outreach, and float as best I can between the other committees, and basically just want to continue helping MRES on the trajectory that I see it's on, which is average to up. I think we're recovering from anything that may appear downward trending on the report. So thank you, and I hope you give me that chance to continue my board position.
Hello, my name is Dustin Denison, and I am a installer, integrator with Applied Energy Innovations. I've been on the board for, I believe this is my second or third term, might be my third term. I'm also active with the advocacy committee, which Jan chairs. I've been involved with the training committee a little bit, and obviously donated a lot of volunteer hours, which I really, really love for such a great organization. You know, I think in the slides that we saw, you know, there are some challenges to this organization. And, you know, I want to be a part of that turnaround. And it's not just for the future of this organization and this membership here. I look at some of the faces here, Christopher, Pat, some of the former board members of this organization, and I realize that we need to do this for this entire membership, past, current, and future. And I want to be a part of that. And it's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of hard work from all of us, but I'm confident with the skills and the talents that are in this room that we can put together our resources and our connections to continue, you know, to grow this organization. And I'm just very humbled to be in this position with such an incredible organization. And I ask for your support. I ask for your vote. My name is Dustin Denison. Thank you.